Yes, O'Malley took a loss. Yes, there's going to be so many people right now who are saying he's not as good as we all thought he was, or as good as other people said he was. He's never going to rebound. He's never going to be champion again. Negative, 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 negative. We're going to be talking today about something that I get so many questions on my Instagram, and I get so many messages from people. I try to get back to as many as I can, but these ones, when I get people asking about fear or about the devastation of experiencing a loss and how do I rally, I really try to get back to them. And I want to touch on O'Malley, because when we see somebody like this who promises such big things, I'm going to be the #1 athlete in the world, the biggest sports combat athlete ever, and he wants to deliver this, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets shut down. And everybody's saying, oh, you're not as good as you thought. Same thing is happening with Adesanya right now. There's people ripping into him. Got pulled out of the top pound for pound rankings. People saying, yeah, he was never as good as so many people thought he was. He just got lucky. How do these guys rally? How do they not let fear stop them from trying to move forward? How have I done that? How can you do that? And I want to make sure you understand this is not specifically for just fights. This is for life. This is for a job you want, school, going after a relationship that you really want to make happen. There's so many aspects in which failure can hold you back. And I want to start off and I want to read this little tweet here from a guy named Alex Becker. He's somebody who's done amazing work within the business world. He's also done very, very well in the crypto world. And I follow him. He's kind of like one of these alpha males, or at least that's the way he portrays himself until he calms down and steps out of his character. But seems like a cool dude, very, very well in terms of finances, and does some martial arts on the side, lives very healthy, does all the things which I try to employ in my lifestyle as well, like cold and red light therapy and all these other little fun things, which if they don't help, I don't think it's going to hurt us. If they do help, that's awesome. So he starts off and he says in his tweet, "Are you afraid of failure? This year I started another business, thought it was the big one. We opened and it completely bombed. All my investment lost. Total hit to the jaw. But this is fine because I've failed like this over and over in my life. Then a few months later, I started doing other things and had the biggest money month of my life. AKA, I failed my way to getting a home run. My entire life is a series of repetitive, almost comically bad failures, but every now and then I hit a home run. You have to fail in ugly, humbling ways to get the home run. Stop being afraid. Most of what any successful person does is fail." When I saw that one and I read it, I actually did a screenshot. Just have that screenshot available to double click on so I can look at it right from my desktop, because it will remind me of some of the shortcomings I have and how to push forward. I know many of you are probably thinking two things. Number one, you're probably going, well, O'Malley did not have those fears moving forward in his career because he had wins and wins and wins and wins and one sort of weird questionable loss to Cheeto, and then, redeem that and lots of wins and wins and wins. So he doesn't experience fear. He does. We'll touch on that. You also might be thinking, well, Gabriel, you obviously don't experience fear of failure as well because you've tackled big things. You've won a Glory title, Bellator title, moved around from different promotions, fought the best in the world, have a YouTube channel that's pretty darn successful. You don't have fear. Well, I do. I do, and it stopped me from doing a lot of things which I probably, like even the YouTube channel, for instance. I should have started it 3 years before I did. Imagine how much more success I would have had. The landscape was so much less competitive. I probably would have built up just bang, 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 super fast. But I didn't because I was worried that people wouldn't watch and it would feel like a massive failure to me. O'Malley, fear comes in different ways. It comes at different times. And the roadblocks which we face don't always come as clear-cut as a loss in the ring. So O'Malley has faced defeat and losses, but it might come in the form of a training session. He gets in for a sparring session and has a terrible day and gets beat up by somebody they bring in. It could come in so many other forms. You sign a new contract, you think you're going to get this much money, you think you're going to be a champion this soon, and all of a sudden it's like, no, they only give you this much and it's way out of reach. You twist your ankle really bad in a fight and you have to spend a year rallying and recovering. Who knows? There's so many ways, and all these fighters do face it. So ultimately, the point of this is to help you guys out there, again, whether it be in the fight world or outside the fight world, succeed and challenge yourself in ways that you're not, because you are feeling that fear. So to do that, I want to touch on how do we go about not letting that fear of failure overwhelm us, or when we do experience the failure, how do we not let it stop us dead and become our whole existence? It's a hard thing to do. So very first off, I can guarantee that any champion, whether it be in the UFC, Glory, ONE FC, Bellator, boxing world champions for IBF, WBA, ring match, like all these different things, when they hit a roadblock, whether it's a sudden loss or a setback or something, they're going to do one of two things. They're not going to hit and stop, or just keep hitting it and never go through. They're going to either continue like a bull to just charge and charge and charge until they break through, or they're going to go, we're just going to pivot and take the longer route. You will get there. It'll take longer, but you're still going to get there. And you have to do one of these two things, whether it's that headstrong, I'm going forward attitude, or I'm going to slightly shift. When you can do that, you can achieve. I'm not going to say anything, but you can achieve a lot. Now, in terms of experiencing a loss, the main way to rally from it, in my experience, is not to dwell entirely on it. And I know that's hard, because realistically, when you come out of a loss, all you are sitting and thinking about for, right after the fight, day after the fight, 2 days after the fight, you're just looking at loss, 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 loss. I lost. And it's just gnawing away at you. But in my experience, bit by bit, it becomes a little bit less. And then a week later, I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's go to the future. What's going to happen next? So you don't let that past result affect your entire future. You don't let mistakes you made affect your future. You go, they're in the past, I'm going to learn from them, and I'm going to move forward. So anybody out there who, whether you're somebody who's a pro fighter now, starting your pro career, whether you're an amateur, on your 10th fight, your first fight, you experience a loss, it doesn't define who you are. And that's the big thing that we often think. We think a loss defines us. And we think, when I go to the gym the week after my loss, everybody's going to be looking at us and judging us. And they're going to see us as a loser. But people don't look at you like that. And if they are, they're entirely way too negative, and they got their own problems. People look and they will go, he tried. And they're going to respect you for it. And then when you bounce back and you get your win, then they're going to look up to you or be very proud of you. And they probably are proud of you even when you have your losses anyway. So you don't let the past dictate your future. It might affect your future, but you don't let it dictate your future. And that's things like O'Malley, or guys like O'Malley, guys like Adesanya. Yes, they've hit these little stumbles right now. Are they going to stop? No. Can I guarantee they're going to win their next fight? No. But I can be very, very sure that O'Malley will be back. Adesanya, he's a little further in his career. I wouldn't say with 100% certainty that I know he'll be back to fight again, because going from title fights to now not going to get a title fight, that's a bit of a slap in the face when you've put yourself up on a pedestal. And who knows, maybe there's a small chance he doesn't fight again, but that's just mostly because he probably has so much money. He's accomplished so much now. Same with somebody like McGregor. People are like, oh, he's done with, he's over, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he could fight if he wanted, but there's probably so many other things as well happening in his life that if he does decide to step away, it's not a failure. It's not lack of belief in yourself. I don't think. It's just kind of like, yo, my life's good. What does an extra fight bring to the table aside from that burning desire inside? So when you're looking to rally or believe in yourself, when you see that big scary failure on the horizon, to me a lot of times it's about remembering you will not achieve anything massive without the risk of being humbled. And when you do have a loss in whatever form, you don't let it define you. When you can do those two things, I think there's a clear way forward to accomplish what you want. And I think that's most of what I wanted to touch on really today. Like, this is a serious subject. I know most of you on the channel are probably not even watching, right? Because number one, maybe you haven't experienced it, you don't need it. Number two, it's scary to even think about this stuff and realize that, oh yeah, we have work to do on ourselves. So I know a lot of people are not watching, but the ones who are, especially who made it to the end of this, there's a good chance that whatever you are scared of, whatever you think you want to try, that at least after watching this, you will be a little closer in the mindset you need to go and do it. And I love the last two lines. I'm going to repeat them one more time from Alex Becker. You have to fail in ugly, humbling ways to get a home run. Stop being afraid. Most of what any successful person does is fail. That last line to me this means so much. And yeah, I have things that I want to do, big things outside of competition or the YouTube channel, which do well for me for sure, but I have other things that I want that are scary, and I just gotta get it done. Reminder everybody that we have a giveaway underway. 1FC sent me some gear. I decided that I'd rather share it with you guys, the people who support me. The good things over there, but these are still pretty cool. This hat is glow in the dark. Like when I get really close, I can already see it glowing in the dark when I blacken it out a bit. So this is a lovely baseball cap, and we got the 1FC water bottle. And this is the fun one. I don't know if I'd put gear in this one personally because it's just such a cool bag, and you can tell it's gonna be really well made. But I love the colors. We got the 1FC logo there. They got the Bruce Lee. And this is one I think I would use as almost like a duffel bag for traveling or something along those lines, as opposed to putting my sweaty gear in it. But you could do that if you wanted. So there's a link down below. I think we have less than one day, or about a day, until that expires. So make sure you get yourself registered for that. I try to do giveaways as often as I can, especially when people gift me things and I go, yeah, I'd rather just give it to you guys, but they don't come around monthly. So when there is an opportunity, make sure you get on it. I'm gonna package all that up, take it to the post office, send it out probably on Wednesday or Thursday, something along those lines, as soon as I hear from my team who the winner is. And yeah, in terms of all this big, scary stuff, failure, we look at people like O'Malley, we go, how in the world is he gonna rally from this? How does he come back from this? It's because his mind is pretty ironclad and he doesn't focus on the non-stop negativity. You have a loss, it's devastating. Probably right now, he's probably still really hurting from it. But you take your time, you lick your wounds, you go, okay, it doesn't define who I am. It doesn't have to be the person who lost to Merab. That's not gonna be his legacy. His legacy, if you're looking at it, if you want to use that word, which I don't really like that much anyway, legacy, I think it's kind of dumb. But when you're looking at how are people going to remember him, right now they're going to still be remembering him as former UFC champion who's just so dynamic, so fun to watch. Pinpoint accuracy. It's not going to be, oh, the dude who lost to Merab. So he will rally. And everybody who's experienced a loss, you guys can too. Don't let fear hold you back. It's that Wayne Gretzky quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take if you don't try a fight. Yeah, you'll never experience a loss. You'll also never experience the joy of putting yourself out there and getting that victory. And that is an incredible feeling. Not just in the moment when you get your hand raised, but just knowing that you really put yourself out there. You let people watch you literally strip down, like only shorts on. They see you, they see what you're capable of. You learn about yourself, you learn what kind of grit you have, what kind of pain you can endure. It's a lot. And that's the reason that a lot of people don't fight, because it is a lot. It's more than a lot of people can handle. Not just on the physical side, which is a big requirement, but on the mental side. That is a whole other ball game, which is difficult to overcome, especially when you do have that loss, like O'Malley did, and you have to prove how resilient you are. So I really hope this episode helped a few people out there get things on track, focused up, give you that little kick in the pants to go and do something, which is maybe just being a little sluggish. And if I can do that with even 2 or 3 people in this episode, I'm happy. This episode served its purpose. That's it. That's all from me, guys. Thanks for joining today.